Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. And my name is Jimena, and I will be the tutor for this session. I am a student at Northwestern, and I am studying neuroscience. Right now, I am in Evanston, which is very close to Chicago, in Illinois, and I love living here. So that's a little bit about me. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about Mommy, Daddy, Me before we keep going, and why live streaming sessions are an awesome way of learning, and why they are very important. So global live learning platform is what Mommy Daddy Me is, and it's a form of accessible learning, so kids can learn from native speakers like myself and a tutor across the world. I am all the way in the US, which is pretty awesome. And we can provide a new perspective. Live streaming is something new, and it's awesome to learn through it, and I'm really excited to learn with you all. So today, this is the English plus STEM, and STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which are fields that continue to gain importance in this century. They are gaining popularity and relevance in today's society. So this is the field that I am devoted to studying. As I mentioned, I am a neuroscience major, and I am also pre-medicine, so I'm hopefully going to medical school. So I love STEM, and hopefully I can share that love with you all and learn something new today. We will read a book, and we will have interactive activities. I will share my knowledge with you, and you will hopefully learn really fun and new stuff that is relevant to your education. So before, that was a lot. So before I go on, I wanted to make sure that you can ask questions directly to me. And I believe you, I don't know if you can talk and we can all hear you. Do we? Okay. Yeah, I can allow you to talk. I'm sorry. Okay. So I can allow you to talk if you ever want to ask a question or say something. I don't know, maybe Eric can help us here, because I have something that says allow to talk and lower all hands. So let's see. Yeah, so we can talk via Q&A. So you can send me a question directly, and I will be more than happy to answer everyone. So yes, Eric just said that we can use the Q&A feature to ask questions. So please feel free to use this feature. I want to hear you, whatever you have a question about, so we can all learn more efficiently. Now, yeah, so I hope you guys can see the chat to the right, and that is where you can ask questions. Now, let's go ahead and get started. That was a lot of talk from me. So today we are going to learn about space. Our main subject is space, and we are going to learn about the sun. So this is going to be a book from Scholastic, and I will share my screen with you guys. All right, so this is the book we're going to be learning from today. Science, Vocabulary Readers, The Sun. So this is a book from Scholastic, and we're going to go ahead and get started with the first chapter. So chapter 1 is what is the sun? I am guessing most of you know what the sun is. It's a big giant star that gives heat to the earth. So it's here. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the reading. I would love if you could follow along with me. I will be reading out loud, but you should be following the reading along with me. The sun is yellow and bright. The sun warms your face. But what is the sun really? This book will tell you all about it. So this is basically a basic, right? Sun is yellow and bright. We see it every day. It warms your face, your body. When you go to the beach, you get really warmed by the sun. But what is it really? Well, let's go ahead and get started. There is one fast fact here about the sun. The sun is a medium-sized star. So you would think that the sun, well, I would think the sun is incredibly big, right? We all know the sun is gigantic. But in reality, it's a medium-sized star. You're going to have small, medium, and then really big stars. And the sun is actually a medium. It's going to be in the middle. So medium is in the middle. So it's not small, it's not big, it's medium-sized star. Now, let's go ahead and read again, and please follow along with me. The sun is a star. It is like other stars you see at night. So why does it look so big? The sun is the closest star to Earth. So, as we said, the sun is a star. So when you go at night tonight and look at the sky, there will be plenty of stars. So you can think about what you learned today and remember that the sun is also a star, like the ones you see tonight. And you may think the stars are little sparkly dots, like right here. But the sun does not look like that. The sun looks very big. And here they answer why. Because it's closest to Earth. So this means that if we have, I want to share my screen. Share whiteboard. All right, so let's say this is going to be Earth. I'm sorry if my drawings are not perfect, but let's say this is Earth. All right, wonderful. And now the sun is going to be closer than any other star. So in space, the sun would be around here. This is relative. This is not adequate spacing. But then all the other stars look so far away because they may be the same size, but they're very far away. So if you are here on Earth and you look to the sky, so you look all here, the sun is closest. So it's going to appear bigger. And the other stars may be bigger or the same size, but they will look smaller because they're very, very far away. So this can be, the sun. Again, it's closest, so it's gonna look smaller. Let's continue reading. And I don't see any questions so far. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer. Now, let's move on This is a picture of the sun. It's pretty cool because we don't get to see a picture like this every day, right? It's when you look at the sun, it does not look like this. But this is a picture of the sun. Like all stars, the sun is a giant ball of gas. The burning gas gives off light. So if you asked why the sun is so bright, it's because the gas is burning. Now I believe there is a question here. Is the moon a star also? I don't think the moon is a star. The moon is actually considered a satellite from what I have learned. So thank you for asking this great question. It's an awesome question. And I believe the answer is no. Moon is not a star also. And moon is Earth's satellite. So what we consider satellite is can be the moon, which revolves around the Earth. So thank you for the question. And no, moon is not a star as well. Now, the classification of a star is also like, it's like this. It's a giant ball of gas. The moon does not give off light by burning gas because it's not a giant ball of gas. So that is a difference between the moon and the sun. But that was an amazing question. Thank you for asking. Let's see. Yes. So this is really interesting because I would think that the sun is made of something other than gas. This does not look like gas to me. So it's pretty awesome that it's made of gas. Let's keep going. This is a fast fact about the sun. The surface of the sun is 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that is very, very hot. That is 5,537.8 degrees Celsius. That is very, very hot. So you would not want to get close to the sun. Now, this is the surface of the sun, and this is what it looks like. In our activity today, we will look more closely at what the sun looks like. So now let's continue reading. The sun is very, very, very hot. It bubbles like a big bowl of soup. So you remember how we said that the sun was a giant ball of gas and it was always burning. It's burning because it's very, very hot there. So if the gas is always burning, always making bright, the bright light that's coming out of it, then there will be bubbles forming. So it's as if you if you've ever heated up water to the point of boiling, the water will have all the bubbles at the top and you will see the vapor. So that is something similar to what happens here at the surface of the sun. Now we have finished reading today the first chapter. So great job, thank you. Now let's move on to our activity. Where is my activity? I will share the screen where I have my activity with. And here. So this is another picture of the sun. Now, I would first like for you to try to guess what you think these little spots are called. This is a picture of the sun, and a picture of the sunspots. So those are those little spots, what they're called, which is a very appropriate name since they're the spots of the sun. So the sunspots are dark sunspots that appear and disappear on the sun's face all the time. So again, it's a gas that's burning up. So just like the boiling water, they can appear and disappear. They will show up and go down again. They will appear and disappear. Each sunspot has a dark inner region called the umbra and a lighter area around the edge called the penumbra. So each dark spot here, the inner part, what's in the core, what's in the inside, will be umbra. Outside, surrounding the umbra, is the penumbra. Now, by watching sunspots move, astronomers, which are the scientists that study the space and the bodies in space like the sun, they have determined that the sun's equator spins around faster than its poles. So this is a very cool fact, because this means that the sun's equator, the center of the sun, the center part, is traveling, it's spinning faster than the top parts, than the poles. So this middle equator, let me show you here. This is the equator. Show text. Let me see if that's, yes. So this is going to be equator. And then the top pole and the bottom pole. So these are how they divided it, and they realized the equator moves faster than the pole. They did so through the sunspots. So they observed the spots over time moving, and they realized that the equator moves faster than the pole. Now, I don't see any questions so far, so I will move on. Now, the second picture, this is again the sun surface. This is a very cool picture of the sun, and it looks very, very hot. It kind of reminds me of lava in a volcano when it's erupting. Now, the solar prominence. These are huge arches of white hot matter called plasma leap. They leap out at about 125,000 miles, or about 200,000 kilometers from the sun, and hang suspended in space for months to end. So what you see right here in the surface, it's a huge arch of really, really, really hot matter, and it's called plasma. And this is going to jump out of the surface at a very high speed. So this is very, very fast. I want you all to think about the fastest vehicle that you can think of, and then try to compare it to how fast the plasma is going to shoot up and stay there from the sun's surface. This is going to be very fast and very hot. So let's continue to read this. These arches, called solar prominences, stay within the sun's magnetic field lines. So let's pretend that this little drawing I'm doing here is the magnetic field line of the sun. So right here. A magnetic field line is if you grab the magnet, it's going to be pulling it in, right? The two opposite ends of the magnet are going to be pulled in. So if this is the sun's magnetic field line, then the plasma, that's why it's not just leaving it completely and just going into space. It's staying within that magnetic field line because it's being pulled in. Just like two magnets attract each other, that's attracting to the sun because it's in the magnetic field line of the sun. So think of a magnetic field line as the magnetic power of the sun. So it's pulling everything in, just like a magnet. Where is my eraser? Here. All right. Now, I want to make sure that we have time to review everything we have learned because we learned a lot today and we give proper ending to this session. So I will not move on to these next two and we will review what we learned. So let's start first. We learned that the sun is a star. And along these lines, we learned that the moon is not a star. Now, we also learned that the sun is a giant ball of burning gas. And we learned that this burning gas makes the sun appear bright. Remember, because it's releasing all this energy, all this light through the combustion, the burning of the gas. Now, we also learned that the sun is very hot and it's a medium-sized star. Now, I believe we have a question here. And it says, for how many years will the sun burn for? Does the sun run out of gas? And now that's an amazing question and it's very interesting. The sun, I am imagining that it will not burn forever because it will eventually run out of gas. But scientists have determined that this will happen in billions of years. So it's so big that there's so much gas to run from. So the sun may burn off, but it will take billions and billions of years because the universe is very old and the magnitudes are very big. So this is a great question. Thank you for asking. And yes, the sun will eventually run out of gas, as I believe, but it will be in billions and billions of years. Now, if someone knows any different, please comment on here. And now they said that there are 2 questions in the chat room, but I only see the one about the sun and the 2 previous about the moon. So maybe if your question didn't go through, please send it again. All right. Now, let's move on to reviewing what we learned. The sun is very hot and medium-sized star, and it's closer to Earth than other stars, which is why it looks bigger than the stars at night, right? So whenever you go to bed tonight, I want you to look at the sky and try to remember all that we learned, because the sun is a star. And when you look at the stars in the sky, remember that they look smaller because they're further away from Earth. Now we also learned about the sunspots, which are dark spots. And we learned about solar prominence, which are arches of plasma shooting out from the sun's surface at a very high speed. So these are very, very cool facts about the sun. Now, we have reviewed what we learned. No more questions. So I am going to go ahead and close this lesson for today. So again, the one thing I want you to remember is that when you go into bed tonight and you look at the sky, remember the sun is also a star, and it looks big because it's closer to Earth. And now that we have reviewed what we learned, next session we can continue to learn about the sun, and we will learn about everything else that there is about the sun, because there's way more things about the sun, right? We didn't see the other two images, and there's a lot more chapters, so we can continue reading. Now, I would like to remind you that this session will also be free next week, and the time of the session is 8 p.m. Hong Kong time. So I would love to see you again at 8 p.m. next week. Now, I believe, are there two hands raised? Okay. Oh, yes. Nina, did you have your hand raised? Did you want to say something? All right, maybe that was just one error. So if you have a question, please ask on the chat and I'll make sure to answer. Yes, I did allow them to talk. That's why they showed up on the screen. So I will do that again, and maybe Nina, you can go ahead and talk. Hi, you raised your hand. Do you have a question? I believe I have unmuted you. This is all new to me, so I apologize if it's on my end. Okay, so thank you for trying, and I'm sorry if this was a mistake. So I will move on. If you have a question, again, please try on the chat. And now let's continue. So the reminder that next week it will be free again, and I would love to see you and learn with you. Now, remember, it's at 8 p.m. Hong Kong time. Oh, thank you for your question. It says, how can we get gas from the sun? And I am not very sure what you mean. Do you mean, how can we get gas from the sun? Do you mean as in extracting, taking the gas from the sun? Is that what you mean? I'll let you type your question. Or do you want me to allow you to talk? How can we get gas from the sun? Okay, I'll allow you to type your answer. Do you have a TA? I am not sure what you mean. Oh, TA, as in teacher assistant? Can you show me the slide again? Wow, these are a lot of great questions. What slide do you want me to show you? And I don't, regarding Nina's question, I do not have a TA. So if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them. And also remember that this was a trial session, so it can be tailored later on in the future if you are interested. And now before we move on, I wanted to show you how to look at more resources on the Mommy Daddy Me website. So, oh, this is not the one. So I want to show you how to go into the website. Oh, that's not the one either. I apologize. Here. So if you go on to www.mommydaddyme.com, this is the website, and then you can go and look at it, and you can see all the products that we have to offer, all the great resources that are for learning. So you can see Scholastic, there's Unlive Live Learning, like what we did right now. There's BMart Encyclopedia. So right here, I would really recommend the children and the parents to go ahead and give this website a try. You can see all the products here. There's also information about this. And let's see, there's 3 more questions on the chat, I believe. Yes, gas for cooking. We can't get gas from the sun. So we got a question, how can we get gas from the sun? And the gas that they are talking about is gas for cooking. Now, we cannot get gas from cooking because it's a very different type of gas. So there's very different types of gases, and it would be very unviable to get the gas from sun because the sun, one, is very far. We can't get really close, so we can't extract the gas. And I believe it's a different component. It is a different type of gas from what we use for cooking. But thank you for asking your question. Now, Nina said, if we do not have the sun, I'm not sure, maybe your question wasn't complete, but I'm going to continue showing you guys this awesome website. So remember that we provide one-on-one classes, and we have also 1-4 classes and big class teaching. So if you're interested, I would really, really recommend that you book a trial today, and then give it a try, see if you like it, and get some more learning. Now, there are no more questions. Okay, I understand now. Great, that's great that you understand now. So that was it for today. Thank you so much for attending. I really enjoyed learning about the sun with you today. And I hope that I see you again and we learn together some more. So thank you for everything. And I'm going to go ahead and, yep, there's no more question. Oh, I see Chris from LA. Thank you. Now I will go ahead and end the meeting for everyone. Go ahead and have a great day, all right? Thank you.